You know, when you hear the name Pythagoras, you probably think of one thing, right? That famous theorem from math class. But what if that was just the tip of the iceberg? See, the source we're diving into today claims Pythagoras wasn't just a numbers guy. He was a guardian of a secret philosophy, one that saw the entire universe as a kind of divine geometric code. And it all kicks off with a shape you've definitely seen before, the pentagram. But what if it's not just some random symbol? What if it's actually a map? Yeah, this theory says it was a precise map of reality itself. I'm talking a blueprint for everything, from the human soul all the way up to the stars. All right, so here's our game plan for unpacking this whole thing. First, we're going to look at the pentagram's hidden code. Then, we'll find the golden key that unlocks it. After that, we'll see how that key completely changes how we might look at Plato. And finally, we'll put it all together to reveal this grand, cosmic vision of Pythagorean philosophy. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Pythagoreans didn't just doodle this star to prove they were in the club. According to our source, they saw it as something way more profound, a master glyph. Basically, a single symbol that held the key to all of existence. And here's a really crucial detail. The way it was drawn mattered a lot. The theory we're looking at is adamant that the original Pythagorean pentagram always had 2 points up. And this wasn't just a style choice. It was a diagram of their entire cosmology. You have the material world grounded below with the 2 points and the spiritual world reaching up from it. That 1 point up version we see everywhere today, well, according to this view, that's a much later mix-up that totally distorts the original meaning. So for them, it wasn't just the pentagram. They called it the pentagramon. And get this, every single line, every angle, every place where the lines crossed, it all had a precise meaning. It was all about encoding the relationships between the divine, the mind, the soul, and the physical world. It was basically a whole philosophical system packed into one single shape. Pretty amazing. Okay, so if the pentagramon is a map of the cosmos, how in the world do you read it? Well, this theory says you need a key. And not just any key, a very specific, almost magical number. And that key is phi, the golden ratio. It's that famous irrational number, about 1.618. You've probably heard of it. It's the number that just seems to show up everywhere in nature. We're talking the spirals of a galaxy, the seeds in a sunflower, even the proportions of the human body. And our source argues that the Pythagoreans saw this and thought, no way this is a coincidence. For them, it was proof. Proof that phi was the fundamental building block of the entire universe. So they took this powerful number and encoded it into one simple, elegant shape, an isosceles triangle. It has 2 sides of length 1, and the base is length phi. Our source calls this the geometric atom of their entire philosophy, the absolute basic particle of reality. And here's where it all clicks together, just beautifully. You take 3 of these special 1-1-5 triangles, arrange them just so, and what do you get? They form the Pythagorean pentagram. Perfectly. It's like the key sliding into the lock. The geometric atom is literally the thing that builds the map of the cosmos. Okay, hold on, because this is where the theory gets really interesting. The author's claim is that this whole phi-based geometry is like a secret decoder ring for Plato, for 2 of his most famous ideas, which, if this is right, have been hiding this mathematical code in plain sight for thousands of years. Now, we know Plato was hugely influenced by the Pythagoreans, right? And he was always talking about the soul's journey, from the world of shadows and illusion up to enlightenment and truth. So the question is, if you're a Pythagorean, how would you actually draw a map of a journey like that? Well, according to our source, you draw it just like this. This is Plato's famous divided line from his book, The Republic. But here's the twist. The author argues this isn't just some abstract analogy. It's a literal geometric construction. It's our 1-1-5 triangle, just unfolded into a straight line. And each segment of that line represents a different level of reality. So the line gets broken up into 4 sections. And guess what? The proportions are all governed by the golden ratio. Down at the very bottom, you've got shadows and reflections, basically the most superficial level of reality. Move up a bit, and you get to the world of physical things and logical thinking. But right at the very top, that's where you find the realm of purer, divine ideas, the world of forms, and it's represented by phi itself. And this is a huge aha moment in the theory. It means Plato's famous allegory of the cave isn't some separate, different idea. It's the exact same map, just told in story form. The shadows on the cave wall? That's the lowest part of the divided line. The real world outside the cave? That's the intelligible world. And the sun, the source of all light and life? That's the ultimate divine source, the one or the monad. So a map like this implies a very specific way of looking at the universe. It describes a universe that wasn't just, poof, created in an instant. Instead, it's something that is constantly flowing, constantly radiating outwards from a single divine source. It's a process that later philosophers called emanation. So emanationism, what is it? It's the belief that everything in existence flows out from a single origin point, which they called the one. It's a little different from how we might think of creation. It's not like a craftsman making a pot, something separate from himself. Think of it more like light radiating from the sun. Reality flows outwards, and the further it gets from the source, the more dense and complex it becomes. Just like light gets dimmer the further you are from the lamp. This diagram here does a great job of showing that flow. Right at the top, you have the monad, or the one. It's pure, absolute, undivided unity. And from that one single point, all of reality emanates downwards, cascading through these different levels of being. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't just a random list of cosmic stuff. It's a process, a flow. From the pure oneness of the monad, you get nous, which is the divine mind or intellect. From that intellect comes psyche, the world's soul. And finally, from the soul emerges heil, which is what we call physical matter. And every single level is a reflection of the one just above it, and the whole cascade is structured by, you guessed it, the proportions of phi. All right, let's put the pieces together. We've got the pentagram as our map. We have phi as the key, and we have emanation as the cosmic process that the map describes. This entire, beautiful, interconnected system, this, the theory argues, was the real secret philosophy of Pythagoras, the stuff he didn't write down. Plato himself hinted at these unwritten doctrines, ideas that were so important, so profound, that he couldn't just put them in his books for anyone to read. Well, the huge claim from our source is that this was that secret doctrine, a complete system, metaphysics, cosmologies, spiritual enlightenment, the whole shebang, all built on the geometry of the golden ratio and passed down in secret from master to student, starting with Pythagoras himself. So what's the big deal? Why does this whole theory even matter? Well, for one, it paints this incredible picture of a universe that isn't just random chaos. It's a cosmos governed by a deep, elegant, mathematical harmony. It also means that geometry isn't just homework. It's a spiritual path. It's a way to understand our own place in this grand cosmic design. And maybe most importantly, it shows us a reality that is completely interconnected, a single, unified whole, all radiating out from one divine source. And you better believe the Pythagoreans guarded this knowledge with their lives. There's this incredible story from the philosopher Iamblichus, who wrote that the first Pythagorean to leak the secrets of these special numbers, well, the others treated him as if he had died. They even supposedly erected a gravestone for him. I mean, that really tells you just how sacred they believed this golden code truly was. And all of this leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. Is it possible that the deepest truths about reality, about consciousness, maybe even about the divine, aren't written in words at all, but in numbers? A kind of secret code, a divine blueprint, hidden in plain sight in the geometry of the world all around us.